Hey friends, thanks for a few minutes together in God's Word. I was just struck with the beauty of this day. Isn't it a gorgeous day? I hope that you're enjoying the day. I hope that you're breathing in clean, wonderful, fresh air, the glorious air of creation, and that you are outside today some and enjoying God's creation, the beauty and the fabulous gift of God's creation. Just a few minutes today in a story. Prior to this story, we have heard about a man named Jacob, who was the son of Isaac, who was the son of Abraham. So third generation from Abraham. And Jacob has 12 sons at this point in time, and they were born of 4 wives. And his favorite wife was Rachel. And Rachel had bore him Joseph and then Benjamin, and then died in the birth of Benjamin. So Jacob has a special attachment to Joseph and Benjamin especially because they were born of his favorite wife. That's problematic. Right prior to this story, Joseph is 17 years old, and we learn that he's greatly loved by his father. His father has made a multicolored tunic or cloak or coat for him that makes him stand out from his brothers. His brothers hate him because of how his dad loves him. And then we hear Joseph has had a dream, and this first dream, his brothers heard it and hated him more. So now that's where our story today begins. So Joseph had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. In his dream, he saw the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down before him. He told the dream to his brothers and to his father, and his father, Jacob, rebuked him, saying, "Shall indeed your mother and I and your 11 brothers bow down to the earth before you?" And his brothers envied Joseph, but his father kept these things in mind. After a time, his brothers were tending their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said to his son Joseph, "Are not your brothers tending the flock in Shechem? Now then, I will send them to you, and I'll send you to them." And Joseph said, "Here I am." And so his father said, "Go and check on your brothers and the flocks, and tell me if they are well and the flocks are well, and bring me back word." So Joseph left the valley of Hebron and went to Shechem. And a man of Shechem found him wandering around in a field there and said, "Who are you looking for?" And Joseph said, "Please tell me where my brothers and the flocks are." And the man said, "Oh, they have left here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went to Dothan and found them. Now while he was still a far way off, his brothers saw him coming and conspired against him to kill him, and said, "Look, here comes this dreamer." That's the end of the story for today. Lots more happens in Joseph's story. This is the beginning of God's great redemption of his people. But man, what a story, right? What a family system. So the brothers already dislike Joseph. They hate him because he's the favorite of their fathers. They hate him more because of his first dream, and they envy him with his second dream, his dream where he saw the sun and moon and stars bowing down before him. Do you find it surprising at all that his brothers knew exactly how to interpret his first dream, and his father knew exactly how to interpret the second dream? No questions, no, I wonder what this means, but just like they knew an interpretation immediately. The brothers knew the first dream dealt with them bowing before him, and the father knew the second dream dealt with he and his wife and his 11 brothers bowing before him. So interesting that they could interpret dreams immediately. They knew that dreams came from God and brought messages for the receiver. And yet, in the middle of interpreting dreams, they also, his father rebuked him and his brothers envied him. What we learn about Joseph? That he's a recipient of dreams among his brothers. They're not getting any dreams. And what we learn about him, what might it have felt like for him to be the recipient of such hate and envy from his brothers? 11 brothers, that's a lot of brothers to be hated by. And hated more. What would that have felt like to Joseph? I don't know. There's so many options in this story. I love the character of Joseph. I love the fact that he doesn't seem to be swayed by the reactions of others, does he? Have you noticed that? Joseph is nonplussed about their reaction. thus far, we've seen no response from him other than the fact that he had dreams and keeps telling the people. Now we could say, well, maybe Joseph is really prideful and wants everybody to hear his dreams, or we could say he just is curious and wants to share. But interesting that he doesn't interpret the dream himself. Other people interpret them for him. And what do you learn about these brothers? That their first response to seeing their brother from a distance in Dothan is to conspire and kill him. They've gone from hatred to more hatred. Now they're conspiring to kill him. I mean, could we learn that these brothers have allowed anger and bitterness to rule their thinking? That their thinking brain has been shut down by anger and bitterness, and now they're just into conspiracy. They're conspiring to kill their brother. I don't know, in your life, how have you seen others deal with anger and bitterness in their lives? Have you seen, in our story, we see the brothers dealing with anger and bitterness by letting it deal with them. In your life, have you seen people allowing anger and bitterness to push them forward into behaviors that aren't healthy? What does that look like? Have you or somebody you've known allowed anger and bitterness to rule your emotions? What does that look like for you? I hear in this story such an invitation for me to deal with my own emotions and to be aware when I am harboring anger or harboring feelings towards another that's unjustified. And even if it is justified, beware of how that emotion might rule me. Hey, I know we've spent a long time already. I am so appreciative of the fact that you guys want to hang out, and I want to hang out with you. May you be blessed today. May there be a richness, a blessing of joy and peace in your life. And may you ponder more this story of Joseph and his second dream and his brother's conspiracy. Hey, thanks for taking time.